Hey besties, welcome back to the Nurse Aspect where we assess and evaluate. I am your host, Nurse Becca, and today on the show we have Nurse DJ. What's up?
How you doing?
How you
doing?
feeling?
I'm good. Happy to be here. I know this is like
I'm
long
happy
overdue.
It is. It's not that long overdue, but thank you so much. I totally appreciate it.
Definitely.
So tell me, why'd you get into nursing?
Well, I do have a strong background in nursing in my family. I know my mom was worked as a nurse assistant, and she actually did want to become a nurse, but her influence definitely played a role in my decision making. I also know that, ironically, I knew I wanted to be in the medical field.
Okay.
But I didn't know what exactly I wanted to be. Like, I always had a list of three, and it was like a physical therapist, radiology tech, or nurse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Physical therapy and radiology tech, because when I was younger, I kept breaking bones, so I was always in the office
like
anyway.
clumsy?
So I was like, yo, I might as well be here since I'm used to the machines y'all using every day. So, but then I also looked at nursing, and I was like, nursing is a lot more well-rounded. There's no cap. There's no ceiling in nursing.
Yeah.
Like, you can branch out into any industry if you'd like. So that's why I ended up going with nursing too.
Okay.
Because I knew I'd be making an impact, and then on top of that, I wouldn't be limited as to like what I'll be able to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like when you started, like where did you start? Like, what was your specialty?
So starting out, it's hard to get what you really want.
Woo, that's a word. It's a word. It's a word. Okay.
It's hard to get what you really want.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, let's back it up. What did you really want first?
So what I thought I really wanted, I thought I really wanted to go into the ICU.
Okay.
And just because I don't know if it's because I watched too much TV shows and I thought it was like all that excitement was there and everything, but I wanted to be there for that. And I feel like in ICU, you actually, I feel like you see it right then and there when you're making a difference, because it's amazing to see a patient go from ICU and you watch them slowly get back to like the floor, like improving wise.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like I was a part of that transition,
Right.
you know? So I always looked at it like that. ED, I kind of wanted to do that too. But I also was skeptical of the like chaoticness that being
I
the
feel
ED.
like, you know, the ED, I used to want to go into the ED too. I used to be like, oh, like I want to go into either the ED or the OR. And then I started working in the hospital, and I was like, you know what? And it also depends on where you work. If you work in like a smaller hospital, the ED is really manageable.
Yeah.
But if you're at a big name hospital, like you're in the bowels of the hospital. Like this is literal hell. Like, welcome to hell.
Exactly. So, but yeah, like you don't get what you really want coming out. So, you know, most nurses come out as a new grad, they end up going into a regular med-surg unit.
Right.
And I actually grew to appreciate that, because I was on a med-surg tele unit with a backup of stroke.
Okay.
So,
wow. Yikes.
I grew, my interest for cardiac grew, because I just got used to that.
I did med-surg tele too, but I was not on a stroke unit. But yes, I also seem like I love the cardiac side of things.
And I got a chance to like learn and see how, like, you know, with the CHF and all that, and just see that physical presence of how that, you know, may change a person's outcome versus, and that, like that transition of getting them better, the fluids, all that. It was very, because in school, like reading it can be confusing.
Yes,
you know.
it can.
But then as a nurse, when you get into the field and you're seeing the doctor's orders going, and I got the opportunity to actually question the doctors for like why they would do certain things. So it helped the reasoning. It helped make everything make sense a little bit more. So I grew to appreciate that. And also on top of that, I knew that I wanted to be a travel nurse already.
Okay.
Like before I graduated school and everything. So I was just like, I knew I want to do that. And then I'm in my career, first year or so, I'm speaking with some of the older nurses, and they're like, yeah, you should definitely do travel nursing. I mean, you may not be able to do it like within your first year, but like after your first year or your second year or so, you should be able to go ahead and look at agencies and just, you know, go wherever you want to go. And of course, my second year.
COVID?
It's COVID. It was COVID.
Yep.
So, you know, I'm coming into work, and I'm looking at these travel nurses coming in to help us, talking about how much they're making. I'm just like,
I feel poor.
Yo.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
like why?
Yeah.
Why am I getting just this?
Yeah.
For all this hard work we're putting in, like walking into the unknown.
Like we're doing the same thing,
like,
and our pays are different.
Drastically.
Yeah.
Like you're in a whole nother tax bracket right now. So it was nice speaking with those travel nurses and all that. I eventually went through the whole 2020 staying as staff.
Okay.
Fought through it, and then at the end of 2020, I was like, all right, I'm done. Started to 2021, I started traveling, and first place I went was California because I knew I wanted to go there. Everybody talks about Cali. Like it's a nurse's heaven over there. So I'm just like,
and is it?
I gotta see if this is real, and it's real. Like it is seriously like amazing, and I'm sure maybe it also depends on the hospitals, but I think they just have a very strong foundation for protecting their nurses there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'd be working over there and it was so funny. I'm working and I'm like, all right, I'll tell like one of the circulating nurses that are helping out every other nurse, like, yeah, I'm going to go on break real quick, but let me just do this. They'll be like, no, go on break.
Oh, never. How about... Okay.
They wouldn't let me finish my work to go on break.
Let me tell you, when I was working med-surg tele, if let's say a break is at 2:00, like 2 a.m., because I'm a night shift girl, you're on break from 2 to 3, and if you have things to do, and let's say you finish at 2:17, your break is from 2:17 to 3. It's not extended. It's no, oh, can you cover me for or whatever. So now, if you have things going on, or you got a cold or whatever, your break is that's it. That's it. So, and how about like, you know, I was charged and stuff like that. So it wasn't even like I could even try to cover to help out. Like it was just the way the unit ran. Like
yeah. Speaking of being charged, you know what's funny?
What's up?
On my first staff job, the first time I became charged was my last day working there.
What?
COVID was just weird. Like my first day being charged there was my last day there.
Did they know it was your last day?
Yeah, I put my resignation in like months ago.
What was the point?
I don't know. They probably was. I don't know. They were like, "Oh, he's leaving."
Was it an easy shift?
It's COVID.
Okay.
So mind you, it was easy shift. It's funny you said that. It was me, one of the senior nurses who couldn't even be charged because I guess they were too senior to be charged. I've never heard of that in my life. But
wait, did you work day shift?
I was day shift.
That's exactly why.
I was just like, wait, what? That don't even make sense. But all right, whatever. Mind you, me and her were the only nurses from that unit. Everybody else was floated.
Okay.
I was just like, yo.
No, that's exactly why you were charged. She's like,
crazy.
I don't care that you leaving. Yeah. I'm not doing it. So it's like, I'm not doing it, and that leaves you and you.
But it was all right. Obviously, we made it through.
Yeah. Mama, we made it.
That nurse helped me out. She was like, yeah, but I'll just show you what you need to do. Da 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 da. If you have questions, just ask me. And it's COVID, so things were a little like it was hard, but like certain things were a little like not as pressing because they knew the situation that we were in. So I guess I take the good with the bad of it, and like I said, it still worked out either way.
Okay.
So
what did you not like about med-surg tele in New York?
As a traveler now, the ratios.
Okay.
The ratios is just uncalled for. I mean, I don't quite fully understand this nursing shortage because we've been hearing about it since we've been in school.
Since the beginning of time.
So like
since Florence Nightingale, there's been a nursing shortage.
Like so, what are we not doing?
Right.
Like,
I don't get it.
I know there's people graduating.
We're not on a hiring freeze.
Yeah,
like,
everybody's always hiring, but I will say that those wages have not gone up, and if they have, it's like not enough. At all. Not enough. So I don't know if that's what. And then also on top of that, I am cognizant of the fact that because of COVID, a lot of staff nurses did leave to travel.
Yeah, right.
And they have not come back.
Right.
I.e. me.
Yeah.
So like I understand that part of it, but it's just like, geez, still?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because the time it takes for the hospitals to pay the travelers, they're actually losing more money. They could have just raised the wages.
You could have actually raised it just a scotch, and not like
staff and
and not
now,
do like a little pizza party or give me $1 a year.
Exactly, exactly. And now a lot of these hospitals now are awarded because they paid so much to the travelers. So it's like a cycle that they can't get out of now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I still recommend travel nursing.
Are you still traveling?
Yeah, I still am.
Okay. Are you still like med surg?
Still med surg. I stuck with med surg. But within my travel experience, I did gain some observation unit experience, which I love.
Okay.
I love the observation unit. That is probably my favorite unit I've ever worked on.
For those who don't know, what's an observation unit?
So observation unit, simply put, is like, I don't want to say a holding area, but like it's the unit where patients are evaluated to decide whether they need to stay in the hospital versus this is something that can get taken care of outpatient. Or maybe they just needed to go to endo real quick, do a quick evaluation, see what the results show, and then this can get taken care of outpatient.
Okay.
So the max amount of time that patient stays on that unit is most likely 48 hours.
Okay.
So it's a very quick shift of patients. If you're working 3 days straight, most likely you're going to have your patients change. But I don't mind that because the type of patients you're dealing with, most of the times, they are walkie-talkie patients.
Which is a blessing, especially especially on med-surg, Telly. Like, having a walkie-talkie is so great. I love it.
Yeah, like, just saying walkie-talkie, you just feel the stress just roll
like,
off your shoulder.
Beautiful.
Every time you get a report, all you want to hear is, oh, yeah, there ain't no time for a walkie-talkie.
Done for me.
It's amazing hearing that. And so I think that's why that's my favorite unit. And also, that unit specifically was also tele-heavy, too. So even if there was a serious tele case, we got to see the beginning of that, and then they'll go off to ICU. Yeah. So that was a nice experience there. Within that same hospital that I'd had that experience with, it was funny. I did get PACU experience, and which was strange because I felt like it wasn't really PACU, but they just put us there because they needed nurses.
It's it's kind of like a holding area.
Yeah, it's another holding area for the PACU, essentially, just monitoring. Yeah. An ED experience there, an IMC. So what's
IMC?
Intermediate care, which is
like a step down.
It's almost it's like a step down.
Okay.
Yeah. So like you don't need to be on ICU, but you shouldn't be on the floor. It's like that middle ground where like we still gotta keep an eye on you, but you're not that sick.
Okay.
You're not severely sick. We just don't want you to get to that point. You know what I mean? So I got experience on that unit as well. So that was good. That was great for me.
What was the ratios like in California?
4-1. Sometimes I had the whole day. Sometimes I had the whole day 3-1.
That's crazy. Yeah. Because it's like 7-1.
Yeah.
So I know there's some med-surg like tele units where it's like 8.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When I left New York, I think we were steady. We were happy to have 6.
Yeah. See, I feel like 6 is a dream. Yeah. Like that's crazy.
And that's wild to think because it's like, are you really providing quality care?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're being torn in a million directions.
Yeah. And I actually got to see the difference and like feel the difference of like, oh, I actually feel like I'm connecting with this patient when I have four patients only, as opposed to when I had 6, 7. It's just like I feel like I'm just a drug pusher at that point. You know what I mean?
I'm literally just trying to keep you alive, and that's all I got for you.
Exactly. You know. So, but that is a main reason too why I do highly recommend travel nursing, just to get a chance to see like those different ratios, just to see how those hospitals operate. It helps make you more well-rounded. It helps you, I guess, gel better with patients regardless of where they're from, because you've seen patients from all over the world at that point. You know what I mean? So highly, if I can't say it enough, highly recommend travel nursing for any new grad that's coming out. Get your experience, do your 1-2 years, and after that, get out of there. You know what I mean? And it also gives you a chance to see like where you'd like to live. That's the other half of it. You know what I mean? Like specifically when I was in California, and I think California only because of how the scenery out there, it didn't even feel like I was working half the time.
When I tell you, I love Cali like so much to the point where if I have a vacation and I don't have anywhere to go, it's California. Yeah, it's California. I'm not even like I'm at least booking a trip to Cali because I love it so much. The vibe out there, the scenery is just like it's just chill vibes.
Yeah, like you wait. Oh man, Like, I don't even know how to explain that feeling of like, first of all, you're off. When you're on contract, you're off, but you're in Cali, so you get to drive around. And one time I just drove down Highway 1, and I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. You have the mountains on the other side, the beach is right here. It's
beautiful.
It's just so
it's
serene.
like you feel like on a vacation.
Like I said, it's like working, but it doesn't feel like that because it has that whole vacation vibe to it. And everybody over there is super laid back.
Cursing everyone out. You like traffic, and just like all you see is highway gray. Everybody's in a rush or whatever. You can't be walking too slow in front of me because what?
Yeah, it's the grit over here. They don't got that over there.
Yeah,
that they don't got that grit.
Yeah,
they just be chilling.
But I mean, it does make New Yorkers tough. Like I still love New York at the end of the day.
You still need
it.
Yeah,
I do like. I want to be in my soft nurse era,
where you don't have to feel all tense every time.
Yeah, exactly. I wanna come in with my little Starbucks and just like that's it.
Yeah. So I did California for my first contract, and they actually wanted to keep me permanent, but I was just like, it's my first contract.
Oh wow.
Like nah, and like obviously if you go permanent, the pay drops, obviously.
Yeah, that would determine
and then
more quickly.
Also the cost of living in California is just
crazy.
Like, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So from there, after that, I missed the East Coast. I needed that grit back a little bit. So I went to Atlanta, and that was a fairly decent experience. The only thing was that the systems they used felt like they were outdated per se.
Okay.
Because, for example, like I know in New York and Cali, we're using our phones to message doctors, providers, and all that. In Atlanta, I had to page the secretary to page the provider. I'm like, by the time something's wrong with the patient, I'm the doctor.
Wow, that's a little wild.
I'm like, yo, that timing is off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I'll leave that at what it was, but it was an all right contract. And then from there, I went to the DMV area, Hopkins, both campuses, nice, had no complaints really. And then Anne Arundel, which is in Annapolis.
Okay.
Smaller hospital, but nice. Okay. You know what I mean? And by the way, California was Stanford. Stanford's state of the art facility, amazing. And Atlanta was Emory. I have, out of all my contracts, I would say my favorite one is definitely Stanford, hands down. California, lovely, had no complaints with them. Like, I just love how they operate, how like that culture there operates. I never had to worry about, did my patient get their meds while I was on break, or do I have to do this as soon as I come back? Like, it was taken care of.
Oh, wow, okay.
It was taken care of. I didn't have to worry. Like, they forced me to go to lunch. They're like, DJ, go to lunch.
Literally a nurse's dream.
Go to lunch.
Take your rest.
Exactly. And honestly, I was surprised because I felt that same way at the Hopkins main campus. Like, they operate similar to how Stanford was, so I appreciated them for that. And Anne Arundel, I love for a smaller hospital. Great providers there, great nursing culture there as well. So I have no complaints with that.
Okay.
It was amazing.
All right. So what are you doing now?
So now, still traveling, but I'm working on a transition, which is, again, goes back to why I went into nursing. Like, you don't have to stay at the bedside. The bedside has its time, and I think my time is winding down at the bedside.
Okay.
Right. So I've been looking into other opportunities, whether that be like occupational health nurse, just to seeing what that is like. You know what I mean? There's no real limit as to where I would go with nursing. It's all about a change of environment and seeing if I can find a niche within that. So with that, I'm looking into that space. I'm looking into, this blew up during COVID too. But it's not that I don't think it's anything new, but there are remote nursing positions as well that you can find within the government. I've also looked into those opportunities as well, waiting to hear something, but we'll see.
Come back and share.
Yeah, will do. And then, like I said, I chose nursing because there's no ceiling. And for me personally, I feel like I'm too multifaceted to just stick to one thing. So I've actually recently started coaching soccer as well.
Oh, nice. That's dope.
And the way that came was organic as well. I'm a part of like an adult league in DC that I play, but I was out at this field just, just practicing by myself, whatever. And I ran into this coach who was coaching the team. And I was like, I just, just by chance, like, hey, like, what team is this? How long have you been coaching? Do you guys allow for an opportunity for me to shadow, because I'm also interested in coaching. I played soccer my whole life. Like I played through college and everything. And lo and behold, they said, yeah, sure. We'll just have to, do some sign paperwork, just make sure everything's good or whatever. And then, for the safety of the kids and everything. But yeah, you can come and shadow. And I've been shadowing him ever since, I want to say September. And he's been working with me on like how to go through and get my coaching license. Cause that's a whole nother story too.
Oh, wow.
There's a whole nother gatekeeping thing where like now you gotta pay some big bucks to get your license or certain. I'm just like, that's ridiculous. But I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna still do it.
Well, you can afford it, traveler.
Yeah. So I've gotten into that. I've also gotten thankfully to travel nursing. I've gotten into real estate investing as well.
Okay.
That's been a blessing, a challenge and a blessing at the same time. Bought my first investment property in DC.
Okay.
So that was big. Again, thank you. I don't think I would be able to do that without travel nursing.
Okay.
That's off the rip. So that's been.
How's the property doing?
Property is doing.
Okay.
Like I said, it's been challenging, but it's a sharp learning curve.
Okay.
Like in the moment, I have moments where I'm just like heated and I'm just like, damn, maybe I didn't do that. I shouldn't have done this. I should have waited a little bit longer, but it's a learning curve. Things are coming along. Almost finished with all the renovations for the first unit. Top unit is pretty much done, which is where I'm staying. It's called house hacking. That's the method that I've gone with. So I bought a duplex, and house hacking, the way that works is you'll buy an investment property, whether it's a duplex, triplex, quadplex, or whatever, fourplex or whatever, and you'll live in one side, rent out the others. So it also helps lower your monthly.
Okay.
And then, after a while, whenever you feel like you're ready, you move out, you rent out the top end, and then now, boom. Now you have that paying for itself.
How'd you get into that?
This is years in the making.
Okay.
So this whole I feel like this whole financial literacy journey for me started probably when I was 22, 23, or essentially, I guess you could say right when I graduated college, because as a college graduate, all you can think about is the debt that you got. I'm just like, what am I about to do?
Just say less, because I feel like you're screaming at me. Okay, just say less.
So that's really what kicked it off. And I'm just like, all right, I'm in a good profession where I should be able to pay off, my stuff. And then, of course, you hear about, loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness and all that. And then you have all these other podcasters showing their strategies on how to pay off stuff and whatever. My main strategy was Dave Ramsey. Like I credit me paying off my student debt to Dave Ramsey.
Okay.
Hands down. I read his books. I was religiously listening to his podcast, driving to work every morning. And I just, once I graduated and I was working, I just chipped away at it. And thankfully, I took care of all of that before COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Literally, it was weird. I had a moment to celebrate, and then COVID happened. I was debt free, and then boom, COVID. I was like, wow, okay, cool. So, in terms of financially, that's how that started. And then from there, I personally feel like that's where Dave Ramsey is best at, helping you get out of debt. But after that, you can start looking to other avenues when it comes to how to invest, how to go about real estate, especially being, not somebody that comes from money. It's hard to get into real estate. Most people who are in real estate probably had cash to get in, and you need cash, really. I think you need cash. Now that I'm in it, it helps to have cash going in. But if not, that doesn't mean that you can't get in. So I've gone through a myriad of podcasts about investing. I looked at Bigger Pockets podcast or something like that. They were good with real estate advice.
Okay.
Investing advice. I don't even remember where I started with the whole investing advice, in the stock market. But I know that by the end of 2020, I started listening to EYL, Earn Your Leisure. And that's hosted by Troy Rashad. And they also have Ian Dunlap. They do their Market Mondays. Every Monday, they have a show where they go over investing. Once I locked in on them, I stopped listening to like multiple different podcasts because I feel like when you listen to too many different outlets, you get analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
And you don't know who to believe, which strategy works, what to do, da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I found that group, and I feel like they resonated with me and my community. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna stick to them, and that's it. And what I liked that what they did is that they did their thing, but also like formed an ecosystem around their network. So within their network, you can go to so and so for real estate advice. You can go to this dude for stock advice. You can go to another person for strictly business advice, like how to own a business, what goes into that. So since then, I've just stuck with them because everything's right there. I don't need to go to multiple different avenues just to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I used all of that and, wrote down what I wanted to do and slowly chipped away at what I've been wanting to do, and now I'm doing it.
Okay.
So.
Are you happy where you are right now?
I'm going to say I'm grateful.
Okay. I like that.
I'm going to say I'm grateful. Happy is a strong word.
Okay.
I feel like happy means to be at peace. And I don't mean peace for like just the time being. I mean peace for like you don't have to worry about nothing for a while. And I think that's what everybody strives for. So yes, I think happy is like a temporary feeling. You know what I mean? So I'll say I'm grateful because I know there's not that many people in my position at my age. You know what I mean? It's hard to get there, especially with how inflation is, especially with how the job market can be. So I'm going to say I'm happy, and I'm going to say I'm grateful, actually.
Okay.
I'll keep it at that. But with that comes challenges where you have moments where you're not happy. That's why I say that.
Yeah.
But overall, definitely happy for the decisions I've made, and grateful for the opportunities that I have had and that are coming for me.
Okay. And I feel like that's a great outlook to have. And I feel like that can apply to a lot of different facets of life, really.
Yeah,
Just being grateful of where you are in life. Even you might, have a struggle or, whatever, but even just being grateful that you are still learning something.
Yeah.
Challenges will come, but you can get through it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a great word in what you're saying.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're not grateful for what you went through or where you're at, you won't be able to get to the next step.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to be constantly at like an internal battle with yourself. Like, damn, like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why didn't this work out? Well, all right. Well, it didn't work out, but there's ways to go about it. There's people you can go to, I'm sure. There's outlets you can look up. You know, that's the thing about today's society. Everything is at your fingertips. Like, if you have a question, you can look it up and find a resource.
Yeah.
And especially now with AI.
I know. It's crazy and scary,
If you use it for the right purposes, yo, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about, like, I even used AI the other day with my brother just to help him, like, bulk up his resume.
Okay.
And it's not like he added anything to it. It's just that the ideas that you got from AI and made you think further, like, oh, instead of doing that, I can just tweak it to like this and make it look more appealing. You know what I mean? So the sky's the limit. There's just too many resources to not be grateful.
Yeah.
That's how I put it.
I always say like, just to kind of piggyback for what you're saying, I always say like everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
So yeah, totally.
It's funny you said that because my girlfriend actually been pushing me. She was the one pushing me. She's like, you always watch these real estate videos and you always talk about owning a home and you still haven't bought a home yet. Like, I was just like, yo,
okay,
son.
Black women, all right?
I was like, yo, son, why you do that? Like,
she screamed at you.
I'm like,
she yelled at you.
Me. I thought we was on the same team.
And now look at you, grateful and happy, right?
Yeah, she pushed me to do it, and it was so funny. Like you said, like, things happen at a certain time for a reason.
Yep.
It was just by chance that when I closed on my house, after that, the interest rates went up.
Yeah.
They went up.
Yeah.
They went up.
Yeah.
So, like, every time somebody talks to me and they're like, oh, when did you buy? I'm like, I bought then. And they're like, oh, damn, you must have bought back. I was like, no, I got right before it actually went up. You know what I mean? So,
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm glad I listened to her and I just went with it. And
You better
now,
hold
you
her
know,
down. You better hold that girl down.
nah, for sure, for sure, for sure. We're working on that ring.
Okay,
Working
listen,
on that.
listen. I am ready. If you need like a wedding guest, I'm here. I'm here for it.
Got
okay?
you, got you,
I
got you.
would love to come.
I got
Total
you.
support.
Got you. You're on the list already.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
But yeah, you know, it's been an amazing journey.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm learning a lot, and that's one thing again I don't take for granted. Like I feel like I have knowledge, but I'm also smart enough to know that I'm still a baby to this world.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much to soak up.
Mm-hmm.
There's still so many questions to ask.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of that. So, like I said, it's been a crazy learning curve. I know a lot more than I did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's just going to continue to evolve that way. And then with that being said, my thing is always being able to give that back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Because for so long, a lot of that information has been kept from us.
Yeah, that's totally true. I'm such a firm believer in not gatekeeping, not sharing, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this show in the first place is the fact that I want people to be able to share. Like it's like what's for you will always be for you. There's no reason why you need to like not tell people like, okay, I'm in school or you went to school and you have like, and something worked for you and it might work for someone else. Or maybe you started and like someone was bullying you and you came out of it. You don't need to continue that same pattern of bullying. You know, you don't have to do those things. We can change as a society, especially in nursing.
Yeah.
You know, what's for you will always be for you. There's no reason for you not to be able to share information.
Yep.
And just because something worked for you doesn't mean that it's going to work for me, but I can take from what you learned just the same way that how you're learning about podcasting. I love how like you, podcasting about real estate. I love how you were listening to a lot of different resources and then ended up like, you know what, I need to focus on this and hone in on this. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. You can get advice from a million people, you know, but, you know, and either end up doing research on your own and like, all right, from what I gathered, this I feel like is the right way for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like I said, the main thing with that is to avoid analysis paralysis. Because I was in that for a while. Like I said, like I was reading about real estate since I was like 23. Like before the rates were like 3% in 2020. I was like, I could have done it then. Like I should have done it then, but there's no such thing as like you should have or you could have. It's just you did it when you were ready. Yeah. Even if you weren't ready, you know what I mean? You just did it at that time that felt right for a reason. So yeah, that's really, what do we say? We said outside of nursing, it's real estate, soccer. And I'm also obviously investing in part of an investment group too. It's just family oriented right now. Okay. But I don't know if I should say it right now, but there may be opportunities in the future for me to be a part of an investment group that reaches a bigger audience. So
okay, well, come back and share. Okay,
I will.
We could take it offline and share. Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to like get that out yet. But
that's fine. We ain't gonna gatekeep. We ain't gonna gatekeep though.
But like speaking of gatekeeping, like that's the type of stuff I'm into. So like, you know, with the family oriented investing group that I'm a part of with my partner's family and everything, you know, we're there to help out the family understand investing on a basic, simple level. You know what I mean? And obviously that money is for the family to grow and, you know, pass that on, whatever the case may be. And that being able to share that knowledge also teaches me the fact that whatever knowledge that I've picked up, I'm actually utilizing it in the right way. Yeah. It helps me know that I actually learned that information the right way to even be able to give it back. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that opportunity to reaching that bigger audience. Like I said, maybe we'll pull up another episode and talk about that once we get there.
You're always welcome. You're always welcome.
So that is, it looks like that's going to be a part of my next chapter so far in my life. So.
Do you ever see yourself doing anything else in nursing?
Anything else in nursing? In the hospital?
Doesn't have to be in the hospital. Anything. It could be like, would you ever go back to school? Like, would you ever like just change specialties? So, would you ever want to settle down and be like, all right, this is it, and I'm not gonna do a local contract. I'm gonna stay as staff.
So, the thing with nursing is that once you become a nurse, you don't ever really want to give that up. Because I can't speak for all nurses, but there must have been a reason why you went in. because it's not easy to graduate.
Yeah.
It's not easy to stick that through.
It's not.
Like that first semester, they really try to weed you out. Like it's a vigorous course and they really try to weed you out. So there must have been something inside of you that said, you know what? I don't care if I fail. I'm gonna make sure I don't fail again.
Yeah.
And that's another thing to like anybody who's thinking about being a nurse or any nurse that has failed that are currently in college. There's millions of nurses that have failed the course. Millions. You know what I mean? Just because you failed. I was one of them too.
Okay.
I was one of them too. Like you can fail a course, but if you really feel like that's for you, you're gonna stick it through and you're gonna get to the finish line.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. All that to say, would I go back to school for nursing? As of right now, I would say no.
Okay.
Only because I don't feel it's worth it for me right now to go back into debt for that, especially with the knowledge that I know now of how to make money.
Yeah. And
on top of that, I feel like, and this is away from nursing at the same time, I feel like, because a degree in nursing is important, but most degrees nowadays nobody cares about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They care about the certifications. Will I get other certifications for nursing? Yeah. I'll be quicker to do certifications for nursing than I would be to go back to school.
Okay. And that's real.
I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Because people care about your actual skills than the actual degree.
Yeah.
You know? And that cost is just ridiculous.
It is.
It is ridiculous.
Astronomical.
And I could understand why people think like, oh, like, you know, like I'm going to do this. I'm just never going to pay off my debt. But it's because it's so high. It's like you don't think that you will ever be able to.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that I've done it again, it's just like, all right, I did it, but I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Add enough of that.
Yeah, like I'll go into debt for something that's appreciating, though. I'll tell you that.
Okay,
you know
and
what I mean?
That's real.
So
I love that.
Like if you have a home, that's fine. It's an investment property, that's fine. But my thing is that once you've gotten yourself into like a mode, I should say, or like a circle of like understanding how to make money or make money work for you, that desire to go back to school kind of fades away.
You're preaching to the choir. You're actually, I mean, to others out there, great. You know, whatever.
Great. Like I don't mind. Like if you want to go back to school,
a level that I'm understanding you. We here. We right here. Okay. Because
like honestly, I'll tell you what the light switch was. The light switch was. It's still my first year investing. It could have been beginner's luck. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. I got into options trading or whatever. But the day I realized that I could make more in a day than what I get paid bi-weekly, I was like,
oh, that's enough for me to be like, okay, let me.
I was like, hold up.
Actually, I'm not going to be foolish.
Yeah.
I choose no longer to be foolish. Yeah.
I'm like, all right. These people don't care about me. And I know how to print money for myself. Not only print money for myself, but more money than what they're giving me.
Yeah.
And they're treating me like crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that really was a switch. And again, it's nothing to knock people that want to go back to school. Because actually, I did want to be a nurse anesthesiologist.
Oh, CRNA.
Yeah. So, but I saw how long that schooling was, and I was just, I was like, all right, maybe we can think of something else.
Yeah.
But tip my hat off to everybody who does that, because I was watching YouTube videos on people who are in the program.
It's rigorous.
It is,
There's a reason why you get paid the way you do.
Clinicals.
Yeah. You
and
can't,
then you're
you
still
literally
working.
can't work. You literally, there's a point where you literally can't work. Yeah.
I'm just like, how?
Yeah. Right.
And imagine doing that and you have like a kid,
a family, or a home, and or you're living to survive. Yeah.
I could, like I said, I tip my hat to those who can do it and who have done it. Praises to you, but I couldn't do that. My thing is honest, and people may like look at me funny for that. I know my girlfriend's uncle hate when I say this. She's like, I'm like, but I want to work less and make more. Like,
I don't.
I don't understand what's the problem with that.
I don't see the problem.
Like he's like, no, you gotta work hard. You gotta put your time. And I'm like, my time has been put in.
Yeah, right. I mean,
that's how I feel.
I agree to a certain extent. Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I do wanna travel. I wanna see the world, and I don't wanna be just confined to like I'm driving down the highway in New York to get to my job to clock in for people to like, whether you enjoy the field or not or whatever, it's like, it's one thing, but you should be able to work hard and play hard. It's a balance. It shouldn't just be work hard and that's it.
Yeah. Like I said, I tip my hat to those nurses who've been at the bedside for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
That would not be me.
Could not be me either. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Like it could not. Like I'm gonna figure something out.
I literally would have to go to work with a box of Kleenex, or better yet, just grab the tissues from the supply room. Just carry it in my pocket for myself. Just because I'm in tears and I probably need some sort of gauze and Tegaderm because I'm bleeding as well.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I will say too, just to add on to this whole nursing journey, especially being a nurse who's seen what nursing was like before COVID and through COVID and after COVID, therapy is crucial.
Ooh.
Therapy is crucial. Like, I mean, I come from a Jamaican background where,
we don't believe in therapy. I'm not. Look, I'm Haitian, so it's like from the Caribbean. Like, what's therapy?
So it's like, it's. I'm proud that Black women, y'all really. My girl pushed me to go to therapy.
I'll just say for the Black women out there, you're welcome.
She like pushed me to go, and like obviously I was like, I don't think I need therapy, but I was also never a person who looked down on therapy. That is one thing. I was never a person to look down on therapy. I just felt like it wasn't something I needed. Yeah. Until I went into it and I was like, wow, this is actually helpful. Yeah. To be able to just release things that are in your head. Nurses as a whole, especially those who went through COVID, that's a traumatizing year. Yeah. That felt like it never ended, partially still going on. You know what I mean? Right. So therapy is crucial. I think if you're a nurse or have been a nurse and has gone through COVID and have not seen a therapist, I think you really should. For new grads too, who graduated during COVID and are now into the field, I think you should go to therapy too, because Lord knows the training that you guys got during COVID was not what you needed to be a nurse.
I honestly don't even think that it's just COVID. It's so funny, like you say that, just because I remember when I graduated. So I graduated like my last semester. That's when COVID happened. So So like March, like I just finished like that first like 6 week, and I was excited to like, all right, now I'm about to do like my whole like preceptorship and whatever. I'll go get like a real clinical hospital, and they were like, actually, you're doing a PowerPoint. It was not. We're in school. Like it's remote, and obviously it was a whole new process and stuff. But I will say, even aside from that, just even thinking about the clinical experience I had prior to COVID.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's not the same. Yeah. It's not the same. Like, even though I was in the hospital, even though we were there from like 7 to 3, which is still not a 7 to 7 shift, it's completely different. I would look at students like even now and I'm like,
and you know what's funny? You're not a part of the 2020 that I'm talking about though, because you still got the experience. Yeah. You still got the clinical experience. I'm talking about those who didn't get the experience at all. They were just in the sim lab and class.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I see what you mean. Like there is a difference. I just feel like at the end of the day, you don't know what it's like to be a nurse until you're actually working, like until you're actually clocking in. Yeah. Because the hospital experience or wherever you're at, like if you go to like a nursing home, if you go to like a psych facility, whatever it is, you get a slight taste, but it's like eating a crumb versus having like a full meal. Like it's completely different. I would literally be like, this really can't be the same type of nursing. Like, what was I doing? I'm thinking like I'm doing something big. Like, all right, I just gave my patient albuterol. I just gave them amlodipine and metoprolol. I checked the blood pressure, or whatever. And then how about now you have 6 patients and you got to remember, because sometimes it's not even part of your order set. Like you got to remember, like, did you check the heart rate? Did you check this? Did you check that? And it's like, and you're balancing that on top of like, I just had a cold and then another family member from a different room comes and like, what about my blanket? Because what were you doing? Like, and then you didn't eat, you didn't pee. Like, and it's just, it gets so tiring. And I'm like, how is this possible that this was going all around me
time, you didn't even notice
and
it.
here I am, and I'm like, there's nothing to do. There's I just changed every patient on the floor and gave one med, and there's nothing to do. Like, nurses got to be easy. How about the biggest lie? Biggest lie. So I'm like, so school prepared you for the boards.
It's really the boards that they prepared you for. Your first year of nursing prepares you for nursing.
Right, exactly. That's your preparation, actually.
Once you're actually there.
Once you get your parking pass and your badge, that's when it starts.
Deal. Exactly. And I always tell, like, even when students come in, like, I'm super blunt. I am not the nurse that's like, oh, well, yeah, Nah, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's because I'm like partially jaded from COVID or I'm just naturally blunt because I'm from New York. It
calls me a Jamaican background.
And it's my Jamaican background, but I'm just like, honestly, once you pass your boards, I'm not telling you to scrap everything from the textbook, but just be mindful that everything is not like the textbook. Everything that they told you in class is not exactly like that. It's very
at the
gray.
NCLEX hospital.
It's very gray. There's nothing that's black and white. You're gonna see some things that you're like, wait, I thought we couldn't do this. Well, you're here now. This is what we do. That's
a whole fact.
It's a whole nother world.
It's a beast.
But don't get it wrong. It's not like school did you a disservice. It's just that this is just a reality.
Right.
And things change. So it is what it is. So nursing is just one big.
It's so funny. This just reminds me of the time when I remember like going through nursing school. Like I remember being at like clinicals and they showed you how to like clean a patient, how you're supposed to take the washcloth, you wipe the inner canthus, the outer canthus, and you gotta wet and then now we're gonna get several more washcloths. Okay, and I remember like even as in clinicals, like you wouldn't really see that, but like okay, you have PCAs and stuff like that. You don't really see the nurses do that and stuff like that. But then now you're working. Okay, washcloths. Okay, I'm grabbing chucks. I'm grabbing like whatever because. We don't have the time. Now it's a cold brown. We're not wiping in can't like we're not doing all of that. Like welcome to the real world and you gotta keep it moving. And on top of that, like if your patient is a CWA, if your patient has restraints, like whatever, and now you have a cold brown, you think you have time with your other 5 patients to be doing a baby Lala bath wash? It's not happening. It does not happen like that at all. Don't be fooled out there, my nursing students that are like, I'm coming into this. And like, again, I loved my cardiac experience. I think that it was great, gave me a great foundation or whatever. In fact, I feel like it helped me in terms of like being able to even take care of like, so I work in labor and delivery now. Being able to take care of a laboring patient that's like, sometimes people defecate while they're pushing. It's just, it's natural. But just being able to, I was exposed to it in a way crazier way. I know how to take care of it. And I'm going to make you feel like it never happened, or whatever. But if I didn't have that experience, I certainly didn't get it from the NCLEX hospital. I'll tell you that. Okay, so yeah.
To add on to that, it's funny. I remember being a student. Obviously, as a student, mostly you're just changing people and giving meds. And, I'm trying to change them properly as my instructor told me to. And the PCA looked at me. She was like, start moving mad quick. I was like, oh, all right.
Get out of here.
Learn. She's like, if you don't. I got 7 other patients to go say.
Move around, okay? And I got sugars to check. Please move, sir. You're wasting my time.
Nurses, please. I can't stress this enough. Please respect your techs and your PCAs. Yes,
for sure.
The same way we are the eyes and ears for the doctors, they are our eyes and ears.
Yeah.
It's just a ladder that goes down.
Yeah.
And yes, you may have that tech that you just don't like, but listen, when they get their stuff done and when you treat them right, if you treat them right, they'll get their stuff done.
Yeah.
That's how I viewed it.
Yeah.
And obviously if they don't, then that's just a whole nother situation.
Yeah, it's totally different. But I totally agree. There's so many times like you'll have your PCA that like honestly is more knowledgeable than you at times.
Yeah.
You know, like especially
Yeah.
those the veteran PCAs.
The veteran ones.
They don't even. It's not even like you never want to go in and be like, okay, you know, I have my degree. Okay,
Yeah.
why didn't you go back to school? I have my degree. Like, never, ever, ever going with that attitude. Like, you don't know what people are going through or whatever the case is. Even if they want to just simply stop here, this is their job, and you have to work together. Nursing is collaborative. So
exactly.
there's no way that you can make it without your PCA. Now, not to say that you're like, you know, because they're always about like, you know, especially on NCLEX, delegating, you know, whatever. Not to say that you can't delegate, but also you also have to be wise too. Like there's times when you're gonna have to go and do your own vitals. There's gonna be times when you have to do your own sugars and you know whatever, and that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You know, you should be able to know how to do every part of your job and not just rely on like, oh well, my PCA is here, my PCA needs to do this. They could have 15 whatever or 15 other patients, and not only that, they could have like now they're pulled because they got to sit for a 1-to-1 or something like that, and now you have to, you know, figure it out. Like you should, time management is important, but definitely treat people, doesn't even matter if it's a PC versus whether it's environmental all the way to the CEO. Like you got to treat people with respect. You got to treat people. You never know.
I'm sure half the CNAs were nurses in the countries that they came from.
And
so they're more experienced than you.
Exactly. Sometimes they'll be like, listen, I'm telling you right now, your patient don't look good. Okay. There was a time like I had I was charged and I had PCA that was getting ready to go on break, and I'm sitting there like, all right, everybody, like I was still med-surg tele, you know, you got to go on break at the time. You go, I know I'm sending you a break at 1. Whatever you're doing from 1 to 2 is your business, and that's it. Like, you know, whatever. And I had a PCA that came up to me. It was literally like 12:58, and I had just told a nurse, I'm like, listen, you two are breaking each other. Like, you other two are breaking each other, or whatever. She comes up to me. She's like, your patient doesn't look good. And I'm like, what do you mean my patient look good? Like, what's going on? She was like, does he sleep with his eyes open? And I'm like, what? She's like, does he sleep with his eyes open? And I'm like, no. I run to the room. It's a cold, like cold blue. Like he was like in PA, like, you know, or whatever. The reason I say this is that she actually went and checked on the patients before she went and sat for her like the 1-to-1 break. If that never happened, I don't even know how long it would have been, because I'm charged. I'm sending people on break. We're not like, it's not all the time that you're checking rooms to be like, all right, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Whatever. This is med-surg tele. Everybody's on tele. So it's like, you know, whatever. But he was in PA. So you have a rhythm to our eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if she was a person that like I treated badly, she could have been like, forget it. I'm not saying nothing to you. You'll figure it out. That happens, you know?
Yeah, sadly, it does happen though.
You have to treat people with respect. You literally never know when someone is going to you need them to have your back. You don't even know when you're going to be like, you know, someone else is going to have to,
It's least expected.
So it's just like, it was crazy. That's crazy.
That's scary.
Yo, and things
scary.
like that happen all the time. All the time.
Respect your CNAs. Your PCAs, whatever they call it at your hospital.
Yeah.
Respect them.
Definitely. That's for sure. That's for sure. Do you have a story that you want to share or no? I feel like we did a lot.
That was a lot.
We could end it right here. We could end it right here.
Think. A story I want to share.
Because you already threw in some tips in there. Like, I was just like,
they just came.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that in itself was a story. I think it's all about like, for me, I feel like it's more about the message that you leave, really.
Yeah.
So I think with like everything that was shared, it's about one, giving back to your community, and also still being a student of life. Like, the day that you know everything should be the day that you're essentially dead. That's how I view things. Like,
what does Socrates say? Isn't that Socrates?
I think
like,
that is,
you know, he who knows everything knows nothing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep. So like, just continuing to learn, take everything in, soak it up like a kid, just sponge. Just soak up everything that you can, and then utilize that. And when you get to a point where you feel like you've mastered it, you teach that back just to make sure you have mastered it.
Yeah.
I think that's really my story. I feel like that was my story from 23 till now.
I love it.
23 till now.
I loved every part of this.
So this next chapter, I feel like, is me more so now getting into that like teaching phase and giving back what I have picked up these past 6 years or so.
Okay.
I feel like I'm at that point in my life now.
All right. Well,
so
like I said, you're more than welcome to come back on the show. You're our new bestie.
Thank you. This was great.
This was great. This was
a
really
nice vibe. Everything's organic. It was nice.
So, we'll see. I don't care how big or small I am. You're always welcome.
Appreciate it. Likewise here on my end as well. If you need any investing tips.
Oh no, we're gonna continue this conversation offline at some point. Okay, whether it's at the wedding, whatever you have. Okay, we're gonna continue this conversation for sure.
Got you.
And we ain't gonna gatekeep. You know.
Got you for sure. Definitely. This is amazing.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Nurse Aspect. If you ever want to be part of the show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up at thenurseaspect@gmail.com. Like, follow, subscribe. We are on all the platforms. You know what it is. It's a vibe. Deuces.